let's get to this story that continues to percolate in the sports world surrounding sports betting and what could potentially happen and did happen last year. You may remember the story, and it continues to have some legs here as Jontay Porter, the former NBA player who's in a lot of trouble with the law, came out yesterday in the New York Post. They reported that Porter not only did engage in improprieties in terms of manipulating sports betting, but also let sports bettors know basically that he was not going to be returning to the game and how much they should be betting on him. He shared this with different people when he was in the locker room. Quote, "I went back to the locker room to get my eye checked on and said, I'm not going to play much more," giving sports bettors the opportunity to bet on his player props during the game. In fact, he also texted, "I'm not starting in the second half, but if it's garbage time, I will shoot 1,000,000 shots." They found the person that received these text messages and did bet on this as well. Again, this is an ongoing legal situation, and a lot of this is allegations at this point, but needless to say, where there's smoke, there's fire, it seems, with this story, no doubt. All right, not much smoke or fire for the Minnesota Vikings. What in the world happened to them last night? No show completely. 27-9, the Los Angeles Rams move on to the divisional round of the playoffs, and 14 wins for the Minnesota Vikings is all for naught. They fall last night, could get nothing going offensively, but give credit to the Rams on offense. It was a nice game for Matthew Stafford, in addition for Kyron Williams, and also Tyler Higbee came up big for the Rams as well. It seems like Stafford really had it going for the most part, but there was no challenge whatsoever in the face of the Minnesota Vikings. The Rams basically saying that they played for the people in Los Angeles who are going through this very tough time due to all the fires going on out there. They played this game in Glendale, Arizona. Looked like it was over before it started. I think that's fair to say. At halftime, we all kind of felt which way this is going to go. Sean McVay, as you saw right there, said he's playing for the fans in Los Angeles.
Okay, guys, man, I'm really proud of our team tonight. I thought, with everything that's going on with our community, everything that these guys have gone through, I thought they epitomized and they represented the city the right way. You talk about sports offering a platform for people to come together, offer a little bit of temporary relief, and I thought the way that our team competed tonight was what it looked like, to stay connected, to stay together, just to fight the spirit, the resilience, all the different things that are great traits that this team has really built through the challenges that they've gone through over the course of this season, and I'm really proud of them. I'm excited to be able to move forward. I got a lot of respect for Kevin and his group. They did an outstanding job this year. They were a really tough outfit, and I thought, Matthew was outstanding from the jump. We put the ball in his hands. Thought he really did a great job of orchestrating 2 scoring drives right from the jump. And then really defensively, you can't say enough about them. Getting 9 sacks, getting the defensive touchdown for Verse. I thought Ethan Evans was outstanding again. Really proud of him. And then, Josh Carty's been automatic. So we played the game a little bit differently towards the latter part of it. When you end up having a lead, you're really just working up against the clock, where we were a little bit more conservative. But I thought our offensive line did an excellent job against that front. And I thought it was a complete game where, you're playing to win and try to advance. And what a great challenge we've got next week at Philly.
Yep. Rams now will play the Eagles on Sunday afternoon. The next time we'll see the Minnesota Vikings, they could look very different. Sam Darnold, of course, has been the quarterback of their team and done a great job all season long, with the exception of the last 2 games that Minnesota played, and the loss against Detroit and certainly last night against the Rams. Kevin O'Connell pretty dismayed with the outcome last night.
Very tough feeling in that locker room right now. This team was really one of one in my mind as far as the feeling that's in there right now, the brotherhood. This team truly did a lot of special things this year, but we didn't play well enough to win the football game. And first and always, I know I've got to be better for our team. I've got 100% confidence in our players, our coaches. We've got the right kind of things going on in this organization, but we've got to find a way to play better as a team, complement each other, and do the things we need to do to win games against the class of the NFL. And that's what we're going to go back to work and do.
First off, I felt like obviously we played a really good team today, and they were just better than us today. And I felt like, I left a couple throws out there that, I could be better on, especially early in the game, really the first half, third quarter. That one to Speedy in the middle of the field, I got to hit that. But yeah, just missed opportunities. Got to take care of the football. Can't have the interception. Can't have the fumble. Obviously, return for a touchdown. That's a huge play in the game. Yeah, just too many mistakes on my end. But again, just really proud of the guys in the locker room for the way they fought all season. We just didn't come out on top this time around, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
We'll see what the Vikings end up doing next season. No question that will be the big story. Meanwhile, other stories going on in the National Football League. How about this? Right after we went off the air yesterday, it was announced that the Dallas Cowboys and Mike McCarthy could not come to a new contractual agreement, so they're letting him go. McCarthy could be a coach in the NFL as soon as this season, interviewing with the Chicago Bears and maybe even Seattle Seahawks as a coordinator. But Mike McCarthy, for the most part, had his hands full in Dallas. We'll see what he decides to end up doing in the future. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys have pivoted, and it looks like one of their choices could be Coach Prime. Jerry Jones, the owner, has spoken with Deion Sanders, according to Jordan Schultz. He was the first to report this. Could Deion leave Colorado and go back home to Dallas? Remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Bo Nix had a great season, admitted to the media yesterday that he had back fractures for the majority of the season, and Nix did a pretty good job, I would say, all things considered there. Russell Wilson, at 36 years old, says he still wants to play football next season, and the divisional round, as we know, is now set. Updated point spreads over on FanDuel. Chiefs -7.5 against the Texans. Lions -8.5 against Washington. Eagles 5.5 over the Rams. And the Ravens have now flipped to 1.5-point favorites in Buffalo. How about that? Penn State's All-American tight end Tyler Warren, expected to be a first-round pick, no question. He has decided to forego his final season and will enter the NFL draft. Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden also makes the announcement that he's going to the NFL draft as well. Florida State lands a very big recruit. Antonio Cromartie Jr., son of the All-Pro defensive back, is headed to Tallahassee. He will be a Seminole as soon as next season. All right, recapping the NBA last night, big game for Scotty Barnes. He had 23 points. The Toronto Raptors defeat the Golden State Warriors 104-101. Also, the Rockets rally 120-118. They beat the Grizzlies in the battle of 2 versus 3 in the West. The Lakers lost to the Spurs 126-102, first game back since those wildfires. Wemby had 23 points and 8 rebounds. The Lakers have lost 3 in a row. James Harden, big third quarter, as Houston was down 13 points in the third quarter. They came back to win in the fourth, and the Clippers beat the Heat by a final of 109-98. The new number 1 team in college basketball, Auburn Tigers, in the college football's top 25. And Georgia's in the top 25 for the first time since 2011. Wow, they're ranked number 23 in the country. Malik Brown of Duke has a sprained knee. He's going to miss an extended period of time. He's one of the better defensive players on their team. Ace Bailey helps Rutgers end a 3-game skid, 75-68, as they take out UCLA. They've lost 4 games in a row. And also, Derek Queen had a season-high 27 points. Maryland defeats Minnesota. Final score, 77-71.